My name is Tony. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I'm on my way over to pick up Jared, and I'd say right now my anxiety level on a scale of 1 to 10 is maybe about a 4. I really haven't been thinking about it much, the flight that is, and the excitement of just being there, at least right now, is overpowering any anxiety that I have right now. Um, I suspect that that's going to change, but we'll see. And Atlanta, here I come. 4 a.m. Here he is. Who are you?
This? My name is Jared. I supposedly know Tony, I guess. And
who's this coming over?
So we made it through security.
We did.
How's your anxiety so far?
1 through 10. It probably spiked at about a 6 or 7 when we were driving by the airport.
Driving by the airport?
Yep.
Why is that?
Just because I could finally see the planes, and then it became real. Now back down to about a 5, just a little bit more than what I was in the car. Not really thinking about it, plus I get to hear this idiot on the TV speaking, so I mean, see where that goes.
So how's your hopes for the flight now?
Just hope that it's shorter.
You saw the weather.
It's going to be interesting.
How did that affect your... So the weather, tell me about the weather and the potential flight change.
I think it's going to be cool, like you said, for the...
Well, tell me about the weather pattern first and how it's going to affect the flight.
Really, it looked like it was basically the entirety of the Appalachians, and basically from about Louisiana all the way up to probably the Carolinas. There was a storm system going through, and it didn't look too powerful, but enough clouds and enough of a system where we're going to have to go through it. It's going to be good for taking pictures of clouds, which I love, but as far as turbulence, probably not going to be the best. It has... My nerves aren't going yet, but I know that they will be.
So tell me, we just boarded the plane. Tell me how you're feeling.
7.
You're just now boarding.
7?
Welcome. We've got an open
What about this?
policy.
And it peaks a little bit higher, but it kind of just goes back down to 7. The fact that it's real has me kind of noticeably more animated, and it's coupling that with the weather, I think also elevates it a little bit higher.
And that's the only reason, just because we're on the plane now and you feel it's real?
Yep.
So you're sitting by the window.
Yes.
Does that help or does that make it worse?
Yes.
And why?
It helps because I have a little bit more control, and this is really all about control. And then sometimes it hurts because I notice I really don't like it when we start to tip. So when we start to turn, I can tell a lot more. So you'll probably, if you were here, you'd see me like that.
Lean into it like that.
Or, yeah.
So what else is helping you through this right now?
Having someone here to talk to.
Yeah. Eventually you'll flip to what other options that you figured out help you?
Music, as long as I can find the right stuff. And really that's about it. I'll probably be doing a lot of moving with my hands or feet or nervous
Like
things
how?
like that.
Welcome,
Like a
everyone.
lot of
We're headed
bouncing.
to Atlanta.
Needing just a little special assistance. Please secure your mask first, and then assist them with theirs and continue wearing that mask until otherwise notified by uniformed crew member. Finally, about you to sit back and enjoy the trip into Atlanta, about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
So do you have like a system of checks and balances that you go through pre-flight? Like, I need to make sure I see this and that, and
So I was just trying to explain something to Jared, and I realized that my head sometimes, like what I'm thinking, can't function as quick as what I'm saying, and that's where I feel like I'm getting to the point where it's going to come out. I catch myself, which is good, but there's other times when things get really bad when I can't, and also part of the anxiety of being finally up in the air is that I feel almost claustrophobic, which is weird because normally I'm not claustrophobic. Like when I'm in an MRI machine, I'm totally fine, but for whatever reason, airplanes, it's because my anxiety puts me here and I know that I can't get out.
so we're in the air now. We're flying. How is your anxiety now?
Probably closer to an 8 now. It was worse when we were taking off. It's coming down, but I could also feel like the pulses of the adrenaline, and it gets me going. But it is kind of cool because I can see the beauty in things too, because like you just showed, it's amazing looking, and sometimes I can just get lost with that, and that will curb my anxiety for a while.
Is your anxiety at least going down now?
Yes. I think it's reached kind of just it's spiked, and unless we hit some turbulence, it has probably plateaued like that.
That wasn't anything.
No, but that to me is like the beginning.
I'm sure the camera shakes more because I'm just shaky in general rather than turbulence.
Show that.
What?
Show that. My ritual for drinks is getting a ginger ale because my parents told me that that's the best drink that you can get to help your stomach, and I remember that was the first flight that I can remember I ordered one of those because they told me that, and ever since then it's get a ginger ale on the plane.
Do you get like, do you do the crackers and stuff too?
I will.
Like I think Southwest
the
only does
pretzels.
peanuts, right, or pretzels.
Pretzels and peanuts.
Megan and I went on Delta does like these sort of like ginger crackers or whatever. Those are pretty good. So what were we saying? It's the uncertainty.
Yeah, the uncertainty coupled with lack of control.
I forgot what my question was going to be. So we're experiencing some pretty decent turbulence now. But this is like, to me, this is what I equate to like
This is
just
like
going
9 to
down
10.
going down like a bumpy gravel road.
Yeah.
How is it different for you compared to like going down a bumpy gravel road? Because like you would equate it
the
to
unknown.
what about the unknown?
I don't do well with that, so.
But what do you?
I don't experience it much.
What do you?
Hold on.
Hold your breath. Is that what you're doing?
No, just
Focusing.
yep.
But you equate that similarly to going down the gravel road, right?
Yeah.
I mean, mean, it's not violent by any means, but it's bumpy.
Yep.
How is that? Because you talked about it being the unknown. How do you equate that with the unknown?
Just because I don't experience it daily like this.
Yeah.
So it's something where I'm already high anxiety, and when it happens on something that I don't like and I don't have control over, it's the lack of control is the unknown.
Do you know like what part of the unknown? Like just the I'm trying to think of the right words to say. Like it's, I don't want to say like going down kind of thing, but like, is that pretty much what it is? So, you mentioned that you're uncertain about the
Like the outcome.
no, you talked about how you were uncertain about how severe the turbulence and stuff is, right? So what happens then if somebody says on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like a level 3 turbulence? Does that help at all?
Yeah.
If somebody tells
or
you?
if I can just like see it with like the workers here and stuff, if they're treating it normal, then that kind of calms me. Like when I just saw them go up and down for doing drinks, doing that prep.
Even though they said the seatbelt sign is on and it's not safe to move yet, they're moving, and so then you know it's okay.
Yep.
So what happens if like you go through what do you think would happen if you went through some like 9 or 10 scale turbulence and they say that's the worst it gets, and you experience that? How do you think that will help you? Not that we're going to force you to do that, but like, do you think that would help you?
If I get through it without making myself look like a fool.
Right, without panicking like crazy. Yeah, I'm sure you would. I'm sure everybody would. Even just the seasoned flyer would still panic through that. But do you think that would help you at all?
Down the road, probably.
Yeah. Like you would be able to make that connection that it's helping.
Yep. Ginger ale.
Do you whip those too?
I will.
Yeah. And that's part of your in-flight treatment plan.
It's almost like in treatment.
Airplane inpatient treatment. Gunty.
So it did peak at about a 9 overall, and then as soon as we landed, I was telling Jared, I basically did a countdown on the plane. As soon as we landed, it went down to a 4, so like the moment that it touched down, and then as we're slowing down, I was kind of like slowly counting down, and then to the point where it was no faster than a driving car, I was like, that. And you're like, your countdown was off, and I'm like, no, that was my anxiety level. Like it went 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 once we were just taxiing to the gate. So that felt really good, but it's also really strange to think that like it can break that quickly. And then throughout the day, it was just more sightseeing and enjoyment than anything else. And slowly at night, it peaked again, probably at about a 2 or 3, just in anticipation of the upcoming flight. But for the most part, that's a whole lot better than in the past. In past years, in thinking about a flight a month out, I would probably get myself worked up to a 5. So it feels good. I mean, Atlanta has been awesome so far, and the experience of just challenging my anxiety has been positive so far, even if I'm still worried about a potential 9 or 10 on the scale. At least I've gotten through half of the Atlanta flights, as well as my flights earlier in the week to and from Michigan.